with breaking news. This is WAFB.
Yeah, the breaking news, 6 o'clock on your Friday morning. The Sunshine Bridge closed after a barge that you're seeing here carrying a crane crashed into the side of the bridge. Both sides are closed, and Lauren, this is going to be a big problem for a long time here.
Yeah, definitely, Matt. The big question now is, when will it open back up? Liz Coe is live at the scene now with the very latest, and we're hearing some schools are actually changing their plans now. Liz?
Yeah, Lauren, that's right. In fact, it's a 1-hour delay for certain schools in our area. In fact, we can learn about the alternate routes you can take here, and Johnny Asian has those for you. Johnny, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Liz. Great report. Thank you for that information. 6:02 on the clock. Sunshine Bridge, as you know, is definitely closed, and we have it all for you on our social platforms. Matt will explain.
Yeah, Johnny, thank you. Let's try and make this very difficult situation a bit easier. So this is how we're going to let you know how to do this. This is your 9 News app. This is the traffic section of the 9 News app, and you can actually follow along with all the Twitter feeds that we are actually sending out right now. And one of the great things is you can actually zoom in right here on the location of the incident. And what you're going to find right now is if you travel over to Facebook, you see a live feed from our shot right here. And if you jump on right now, what you're going to see is the fact that they just removed the crane. They just removed the crane. This is the situation we've been paying attention to all morning long. Barge with the crane on top of it, just too high, hit the bridge going under it. It was always going to be an issue of getting the crane out of there and then having DOTD and everybody else inspect that. So again, bridge still closed, but the crane has now been removed. Diane, this is the breaking news that's going to happen all morning long.
Oh, indeed. Keeping a close eye on that, too, and keeping a close eye on our weather. Umbrellas for a while or not? That's the question mark. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes, Lauren.
Okay, Diane, thank you very much. I'm loving this weather so far. We're expecting breaking news today after Baton Rouge police have fired this man, Officer Yusuf Ahmadi. He was the officer who had his body camera off when he claimed Raheem Howard fired shots at him. The district attorney dropped the charges weeks after Howard pleaded his innocence to our cameras. Now, in the aftermath of the firing, his attorneys are expected to hold a press conference. We're told they'll address a potential lawsuit against the officer, may even call for criminal charges. We are planning on sending a crew to that conference this afternoon, so you can expect updates on your 9 News app and in our later newscasts.
Breaking this morning, Lauren, firefighters investigating an overnight fire at a business. Let's give you a look at the scene right around 1 o'clock this morning. North Foster, kind of near the Fairfields area. A large number, as you can tell, obviously the fire trucks were called out to this blaze right here next to the Big Ben Furniture Store. So those familiar with the area, that's kind of the major store there. It was next to the Big Ben Furniture Store. When we get information from the fire department about maybe what caused this, if they're looking for anything, we'll make sure to pass that along.
Okay, Matt, back here, nearly a dozen people are injured after a roof collapsed on workers in New Orleans. Witnesses say the crew was renovating the home late Thursday morning when they heard a loud boom. The roof had caved in with 11 workers inside. Firefighters were told at least 4 of them were trapped, one stuck under debris in the rear of the house. Now, thankfully, crews were able to get them out into a hospital before things took a turn for the worse.
The other 6 people that went to university, 2 of them had a little more extensive injuries that may need a little more follow-up, but everybody is stable.
It's not clear how those workers are doing this morning, and we don't know what caused the roof to collapse just yet.
In Baton Rouge, a man is behind bars this morning, a $24,000 bond after allegedly threatening officers and their families. State police arresting this man, that's Melvin Amar Jr., during a traffic stop Wednesday. Investigators claim he began kind of agitated during the stop, saying he would kill troopers, even referencing the 2016 ambush on police. Officers say they found Xanax pot on Amar during the encounter. He's now facing a long list of charges that includes simple assault, possession of Schedule 1 and 2 narcotics, and public intimidation.
Baton Rouge police are investigating a shooting that injured a man right there just off of Gus Young Avenue near the intersection of North 44th and Jefferson. That was around 7:30 Thursday night. We've learned the victim was shot in the leg. We don't know how he's doing today, and police have not released any details about a possible motive or a gunman in this case. So if you know something that can help, call the number on your screen. That'll get you to Crime Stoppers. It's 344-STOP.
Happening right now, our first responders still in Florida helping with, of course, rescue and recovery efforts there in the aftermath of Hurricane Michael. The video you're seeing right here from the state fire marshal teams that we saw leave, they're in Mexico Beach, and they were going door to door in that area doing their searches. You can see the devastation, folks. It is just incredible. Left behind that nearly Cat 5 storm that hit the Panhandle. Our first responders could be there for a while, which means they may miss out on something like early voting. Yeah, they're thinking about that. Secretary of State Kyle Ardoin making sure that that does not happen. First responders doing disaster work out there will be able to contact the Secretary of State's office requesting an absentee ballot by mail. Of course, you have to do that by November 5th. Remember, Election Day is November 6th.
It looks like Louisiana won't be getting those new voting machines anytime soon. The state has voided its multi-million-dollar contract to replace them. According to NOLA.com, a key official in the governor's office found flaws in the vendor selection. That means the Secretary of State's office will have to redo the bidding process. Interim Secretary of State Kyle Ardoin is calling the decision an embarrassment that reeks of old-school Louisiana politics. Commissioner of Administration Jay Darden responded, saying Ardoin's assessment is a gross mischaracterization.
A new report revealing now some of the jewelry that you're wearing could be toxic. As you get ready for work this morning, ladies, don't miss that next Consumer Alert.
And 3 years later, the widow of Deputy U.S. Marshal Josie Wells shares how his life has inspired her family and pushed her to accomplish her biggest goals.
The crane barge that struck the Sunshine Bridge has been removed from the bridge. Bridge traffic, though, is still not allowed to pass.
It's a good-looking October morning, but you're making plans for the weekend. You might be doing some traveling to Texas, following Southern on the road. This is the forecast for the game tomorrow. Kick off at 5 o'clock Saturday evening. Not bad, looking really good through the entire game. Dry and pleasant. I'll have your complete forecast coming up in just a moment.
We're back at 6:20 with that sound. It means a Consumer Alert, a biggie for women who are buying jewelry on a budget. A report says that new necklace you just bought could be linked to serious health problems. Diane and I are going to have to talk about this. According to an analysis by the nonprofit Center for Environmental Health, major retailers like Ross, Nordstrom, and Papaya sell jewelry that contains cadmium. That's a carcinogen linked to cancer, kidney damage, and reproductive issues.
It's very disappointing that we're still seeing cadmium, an incredibly toxic metal, in jewelry. We found it in 2010, and 36 companies agreed to eliminate it. Now, unfortunately, in 2018, we have to do the same thing again.
The Fashion, Jewelry, and Accessories Trade Association does not believe the report suggests a larger problem. In statements to the Associated Press, Ross and Nordstrom say they've reached out to their suppliers. Papaya has also issued a recall of the affected jewelry.
Facebook getting rid of hundreds of pages and accounts that it says overwhelms users with politically motivated content. This move could draw some criticism, of course, comes less than a month before the midterm elections, and Facebook has previously come under fire for allegedly silencing some political opinions. The company, though, trying to get ahead of any of those accusations, saying the pages and groups violated their spam rule.
Now with breaking news. This is WAFB.
6 o'clock on your Friday morning, and it has happened again. Another deadly house fire in our area. You are looking live. This is Iroquois Street, right in the very heart of Baton Rouge. And as you can tell, still a very active scene. That's where we find our Liz Coe this morning. Liz, heartbreaking news from Iroquois.
Matt, heartbreaking is the right word.
There have been 5 fatal fires now since January 1st, and each time we turned the camera toward the flames. Today we're turning it around at the people fighting them. Firefighters have been working hard the last few days. We've got to remember these men and women with cold temperatures. We are seeing an uptick in heat-related fires. That means they're risking their lives to brave the freezing temperatures and the flames to save our homes.
You're out there in 20 degrees and you get wet from the fire hose, that's going to cause issues. And also, inside your bunker gear, you start sweating. That causes hypothermia.
We are so grateful for these guys. Let's help them out by preventing fires in the first place. That means keep those space heaters away from things that catch fire. Never use your oven as a heater, and check your fire alarms to make sure they work. Pay attention to these tips, folks. We know we've said it a million times, but this information could be the difference between life and death. I know a lot of people kind of zone out when they hear what they've heard before, but one little mistake, and we're seeing what we saw, unfortunately, this morning. Perhaps we don't know the cause of that fire, but 4 people dead and 2 in the hospital after that fire on Iroquois Street.
That is absolutely the breaking news story of the day. It's something we're going to be keeping you up to date on all morning long, continuing coverage on the other side of this as well with a big extra hour. But yeah, right in the heart of Baton Rouge, 4 dead, 2 hospitalized after another house fire. Absolutely heartbreaking. 6:50.
Hey Jeff, we have some breaking news to get to. A shooting happening on Bourbon Street. Now reporters are confirming that 1 man has died as a result of that. Let's take a look at the scene right now.
All right, Robbie Reynolds, thank you from the Alert Center. Happening today, you will hear a tornado warning on your radio. Do not panic. This is a test to make sure weather experts can tell you when something like that is in our area. That's happening around 9:15 this morning. The National Weather Service is also using it to raise awareness about severe weather. A lot of us kind of get comfortable this time of year as hurricane season trails off, but remember, those cold fronts moving in can cause powerful thunderstorms. We've seen many of them around the holidays. Our storm team is continuing to track any systems moving our way. You can keep up with that on our free WAFB weather app.